Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Maryland International Raceway. So we're here at Maryland International Raceway for the XDP Truck Mania event. So it's pretty much for street trucks for the most part. The one class we do fit into is race truck because this is not a street legal truck. It's kind of more of the focus of like the diesel part of the event. There are big rigs and like dump trucks here, which is always cool. And they have a jet truck, so that's always
our race truck category here. About to take the tree.
Well, here's a race truck going now, but we got some stuff like this gas guy over here. No idea how fast that thing's going to be. Also don't know if we are running eighth or quarter. As you guys know, we have only ever ran the truck 8th mile, so I believe this is a race truck here. So a 1030 and 1150. All right, this guy. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, we're here to also kind of test, see if we can get the truck even faster, collect our data, all that. So we are on the same tune-up setup we had for our second pass at UCC with the nitrous and all that. We're going to see how the track takes it, see how the prep is. That's the one thing that, at the ODSS stuff, it's pretty consistent from what I understand, from race to race. But we'll see what it is here today. The street trucks might tear it up a little. I don't know if they're prepping before they send the race trucks. I have no idea. So we'll see what that all looks like, but we're here to collect data, do some test and tune basically, and then we're gonna get some racing in. I also am not sure if it's dial in or heads up. I was under the impression it's heads up, but somebody said that it might be dial in, so we'll see. We're here to have a good time, run the truck, and see if we can get this thing even faster for when we go to Virginia Motorsports Park with ODSS. So we're all teched in and all that. I'm gonna get changed, head up to the lanes, and see what this thing will throw down. And if everything's going well, at some point today, maybe we'll run this thing out the back end and see what she's got in her for the quarter. Yeah, well, like I said, focusing on the 8th, but maybe we'll run her out the back door. So, all right, let's get up there and get ready to race. Needless to say, our first pass felt amazing. And I got to the 8th mile and just kept my foot on the floor. It felt great. That Maryland International has a huge shutdown. I didn't even pull the chute. And as soon as I crossed the quarter, I got on the brakes, and those TBMs that we got, they just bit. But yeah, ran her out the back door. Because it just felt so good. It was one of those passes that when I launched the truck and I was like, going, it's like, man, that kind of felt slow. It's one of them, because everything was just working the way it should. yeah, felt incredible. I knew it was a good pass. Didn't know how good until I got to the ticket booth, or the, go away, B, to get my slips. And yeah, we ran an 8:26.8 in the quarter at 163 mile an hour. My first ever 8-second pass. I was ecstatic instantly. 799 to is a new goal. That I kind of something that was a long-term goal for me, but it's definitely getting closer. But I want to run this truck and make it a 7-second truck. But more importantly, the 8th mile stuff, which we concern ourselves with more, because even when I go to Cecil, until this thing is really, really dialed in, and I think I got a 7, I'm only going to run it to the 8th, because that's what we run. No need to stress everything out, just in the sake of saying I ran 8-second passes. Today, we actually, like I said earlier in the video, I didn't know if it was a bracket race or heads up. It was a bracket race. I didn't know that going in. I thought it was heads up race when I went there. So it was kind of like, all right, well, we'll just test and tune during the day, and when we get to eliminations, we'll just let the chips fall where they may. So, yeah, our first pass, 129.60 foot, a 5:30 at 133 to the 8th mile. Our fastest 8th mile pass. Our second best 60 foot. These 120/60 foots, they are awesome. So we did really good, and I was really happy that pass brought the truck back, let it cool down, and then we went up for pass number 2. So our second pass, I actually sent our time slip to our buddy Derek from DNR Customs, and just because that was the tune-up we had in at UCC, and I didn't have what I left not fully up on the boost. So I sent it to him, like he was right. You know, the changes we made, that was a 5:30, 5:29 pass, and sent it to him, just super ecstatic. I mean, I was shaking, you know, all that kind of stuff. So he called me right up, like, dude, that's awesome. How's the data? So we looked at all the data logs, the video, and all that, and decided to make some shift point adjustments. Made an adjustment to our nitrous, changed the nitrous jet on our second kit, and then we went back up the lanes. Last thing he told me was, on your second pass, make sure you're up on it, because at UCC we left under half boost and kind of screwed the run up.
135, and this is the thing I'm most curious about. Thomas Burrell, your right side, and the 2500. I've never seen this truck before, at least I don't recall seeing this truck before. I want to see what this bad boy is going to do. He's run a quarter-mile strike, 8:51.
So we went up, and wouldn't you know, I did the same thing. I'm going to say it's a little bit not my fault, because our nitrous bottle was about empty. So I think I was up on it the same amount of time I normally am, but I screwed up again. Left under about 10 pound of boost, and it did exactly what it did at UCC, a 1.460 foot, 554 to the 8th. But it still ran an 8:51 at 64 or at 164 mile an hour. So screwed that one up. My fault. When I brought the truck up on boost here to house the night before, I left the nitrous bottle on, so I think we might have a small nitrous leak somewhere. So I think that bled down a little. So we only got like one good run out of the bottle. But maybe I needed to be up on it a little bit longer. So screwed that run up. But still an 850. Anyhow, we went up for our 4th pass.
97 SN right lane, Thomas Burrell. Let's see what this truck's going to be able to do. So Burrell, that thing's clean. 824 to 160.
Same adjustments that we had made from the original first pass. Went up, staged, everything went great. The light came on, and down the track we went, and it felt awesome. I knew it was a good pass. I didn't know how good. So, our second pass, the truck ran at 824 at 164.9 mile an hour in the quarter. It went a 528 to the 60 foot. Our first 520 or 60 foot. 528 to the 8th mile at 133.9. So we went our fastest 8th mile we've ever done. And what I am most ecstatic about on that pass, we went a 127 to the 60 foot. This thing just hooked and went, and for a foot brake and a 48, that is a fantastic 60-foot time. I was so thrilled about that. That was awesome. I mean, the 528/8 is great too, but that 60-foot, if we can just keep these these 120 60-foots going, it'll just be incredible. But yeah, so our third pass was fantastic, and that was the end of the qualifying. So we could have made more qualifying passes because they were qualifying from like 11 to 5. So every time they call up our class, which was race truck, I couldn't compete in the diesel stuff because I wasn't street legal, and we're obviously a race truck. So it was just me and a bunch of gas guys. I was not the only person there that didn't realize it was a bracket race. There's like 2 or 3 other guys that didn't. So, and we were all pitted kind of next to each other, which was cool. None of us kind of knew what was going on. But hey, I was there to have fun, test and tune kind of deal. So, yeah, so we got a crash course in bracket racing and all that, and not really something I want to do a lot of. I do like the strategy part of it, especially with the turbo. It's kind of hard to do because, so for those of you who don't know how a bracket race works, so I dialed in at an 824 because our last pass was in 824.1. So I just went 1/100th of a second lower than that because I didn't think I didn't know how repeatable that pass was with that 60 foot and all. So that was our dial, but so if we're dialed in at an 824, the first guy we go up against, he dialed in at I think a 1090. So how it works is you're racing to the finish line. Since he's dialed in at a slower time, once we're staged, the tree counts down. Oh, and it was a sportsman tree too, whereas ODSS we run a pro tree, so that was a little different. And I'm going to blame that on why I red lit, which you're going to see here in a second. Anyhow, he's at a 1090. His tree counts down, and he launches. And then 1090, I'm at an 824. So 2.5, 3 seconds later, whatever the math comes out to, I get the green light to go. So theoretically, if we both hit our dial in time, we cross the stripe at the exact same time. So with the turbo and all that, and trying not to burn the transmission and the torque converter up, you got to play that game of how you stage. So we don't want to come up, be up on it, and just sit there for that extra 3 seconds and all that. Plus the guy we were racing, he's a bracket racer. He knows we have a turbo. Probably knew we weren't a bracket racer. So he knew that. When we staged, I could tell that because he wouldn't stage until I stage, which, you know, I thought about it for a second. I'm like, he's going to try and burn me down. I thought about it like, well, I got an extra 3 seconds on him. So as soon as he starts revving, maybe that's what I'll do. But so I staged and I was bringing the RPMs up, but I wasn't starting to lay into it. He staged, and then I could see part of his tree coming down, and that's when I put my foot to the floor.
Thomas Burrell here on the right side. At Quarryville, Pennsylvania, Kenny Guy, Loveville, Maryland, the local band, down 1091, Burrell 824.
So he launched. I'm watching the tree. That third amber light came on, and I let go of it, and then I just saw red. I saw the red light, you know, crap, but I stayed in it through the 60 foot at least, and it shook the tire real bad. You can see in the video where it actually started burning, you know, doing a burnout, and it started, you know, smoke was coming off the front tire. And the reason is the guy before me in that lane put a little something on the track. They mopped it up, but it was still wet. And it was like right where my driver's side front tire was. So that's why I'm pretty confident that's why it did the tire shake. And I started running it out, and then I did pedal it once for whatever reason because I was just going to get out of it. And I was like, well, you can still make a good pass, but that time between the tire shake and letting your foot out of it, it's like you're done anyway. But we red lit, so the race was over. Lost. Could have bought back in for I think $30 because after I got into it, I was kind of in that groove of like, you know what, this is kind of neat. Let's give it a try. But as soon as we were getting back to the lanes and getting the truck, like I got the hood open and all that, they're calling us back up to the lanes. The truck was too hot, didn't have enough time to cool it down, so we were done. We couldn't buy back in because I was talking to another guy who's a Brecker racer. He said, as soon as you guys get done that pass for your buyback, he says, they're probably going to call us back up. But it doesn't matter. We were too hot to go. So it is what it is. My first bracket race, I screwed up, but, you know, whatever. It was a good experience. Something I'd like to, you know, we'll try again possibly, but the running it out to the quarter, we're going to limit that because it's just not feasible for the actual real racing we want to do. If we find a good race somewhere, maybe we'll do it, but it's really stressing stuff out more than we need it to. That's why the diesel stuff runs 8th mile. But yeah, that second good pass, I was so thrilled with this 824. I didn't go down there with the expectation to run 8s. I was hoping we were running 8th mile, but a 5:28 8th. We keep progressively getting faster in the 8th mile. You know, I'm trying to get my seat time, learn the truck, learn how to go over the data, figure out where you need to put more power, what you need to do, you know, adjustments that need to be made as we keep incrementally going up. So absolutely, one of my goals is a 4-second 8th mile pass on a 48 RE with a foot brake. So that's one of our goals. I think it is attainable. It's not going to be, it's not super easy. It's not something that a ton of people have done, but that is certainly one of my goals. But a 5:28 in the 8th, we're just slowly chipping away. You figure our last event at UCC, we ran a 533, made a tune-up to run a 530, which we did at Maryland International. So we're just chipping away at it. We're slowly getting the truck faster. We're getting better. The truck feels great. It was launching great. So I'm very ecstatic with how it performs, and definitely want to keep running this truck. Like I told you guys before, this is not a truck you're going to see twice a year, or 3 times a year, or only in ODSS stuff. I want to run this truck every opportunity I have. So that was the event. At the end of the video here, I will put some other stuff, because there was a Kenworth there running 12s. Yeah, full street legal semi, running 12 second quarter mile. And some other stuff. There's a jet truck. I didn't really get to see its good pass. It had one junk pass where a couple of the jets I don't think was running. But some neat stuff. A lot of street trucks, but I think they were still doing the bracket kind of thing, which I just don't really like. I like the whole heads up thing. You know, why would you want to limit yourself? You know, let's go as fast as we can. That's why we're not running 590. The truck's not going to get faster if we don't keep trying to go faster. So if we were running 590 this year, we'd never get faster. That's why we're running Pro Street and kind of punching up to some more experienced and faster trucks. But yeah, so it was a good event. Really got the truck dialed in a little more. That Maryland International Raceway, it's a very nice facility. It's not like Lucas Oil, it's not that massive, but it's a nice facility. The track is great. What impressed me most was the staff. So the staff was great to talk to and all that. You know, if you had a question, you know, they were really good about that stuff. When I went up to the lanes the first time, the guy was directing me toward the water box, and I was trying to drive around it. He saw what I was doing, that it's a 4-wheel drive, and every time I would come up to the lanes, the employee from Maryland International would actually direct me around the water box and make sure I got straight on the track. So that was great. You don't see that kind of a lot. You got to have your own person up there to do that typically. But yeah, the staff at Maryland International was great. It's a very nice track surface as far as at least our truck. This thing loved it, so that's what I'm going off of. But it's got a really long shutdown. But yeah, I really enjoyed our time there. And there's something else about the employees I wanted to say. Oh, so it wasn't the employees, it was the announcer. So that was another reason I don't have any video. Obviously, after that first pass, I was a bit excited. But the announcer was going constantly, trying to keep the spectators entertained, which is great. But this track had an amazing speaker system, and in the pits, I could actually hear everything that was going through the PA. A lot of the tracks, including Cecil, yeah, you can hardly hear anything. But their sound system at MIR was awesome, and even with trucks running and all that, I could still hear what was going on, hear us get called to the lanes, and not have to just, oh, everybody else is going up kind of thing. So great sound system there. That's something that when you get to doing this kind of stuff and you're in the pits, you really start to appreciate. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video. Truck's going to get faster. And I'm excited for Virginia Motorsports Park in 2 weeks for the ODSS race and really get back to what we do. Now we have some more knowledge, more data, and we can try and hopefully make the truck even faster. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe down below. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck. And now here's a little bit more of the Truck Mania action from Maryland International Raceway.
Harvey Radar coming up here on the left side. Steve P, of course, Truck Mania. Rolling cold both sides of the racetrack. Wayne Smith got no rush, and he gets through the gears, trying to see if he can reset the track. Top of the racetrack, Wayne Smith, 14:30 with 800. 104. Goes it. Truck. Stay fired. There we go. Roar back to life.
I have his hand for Corey. Look, I know Corey will leave on, but look, there he goes. Now we're working. Let's go. Let's go to work. Starting it in one arm from a wing. The 87-mile-an-hour truck reports a dissipated. Oh, he might do another 12-second pass, ladies and gentlemen. A 260 truck would not Wade Smith, 15 on the tree, 2/10 in the pocket, but which rank is already poured away from our
No, right lane just dumped a bunch of fuel out there, and it looks like issues there for the top right one. Jared McCart